You're carrying something valuable, but you've been walking around convinced you're broke. And I don't mean money. I mean the quieter thing underneath money, underneath the job, underneath the version of you that keeps showing up on Monday morning ready to prove something all over again. Here's what this next few minutes is really about. There's an old idea, and it's a striking one, that everything you could possibly need has already been given to you. Not promised. Not on its way. Given, and the only reason you don't feel it, don't experience it, don't wake up inside it, is that some part of your mind quietly refuses to accept it's true. The problem was never scarcity. The problem is a very old, very stubborn habit of believing you're not the kind of person who gets to have what's already here. That's not a comforting spiritual sentiment. It's a completely different explanation for why your life feels like such an uphill climb. And if it's right, it changes what you do next. Let me tell you about Sarah. It's a Tuesday afternoon, back-to-back meetings. Her manager gave her feedback that landed somewhere between criticism and dismissal, and she's been chewing on it for 4 hours. Lunch was a granola bar over her keyboard. She's drafting a resignation letter in her head that she will never send. She's drafted it 100 times. On the drive home, she replays every moment, building the case, undervalued, underpowered, running on fumes, one bad week from falling apart. She pulls into her driveway, turns the engine off, and for some reason she doesn't get out. She just sits there, staring at the steering wheel, and for one unguarded second, the noise stops, and in that silence, something is still there. She can't name it. It's not triumphant. It's not loud. It's just steady, unhurried, entirely unbothered by the terrible Tuesday. Sarah doesn't know what it is. She probably calls it fatigue and goes inside. But that quiet is the thing this whole video is about. Here's a picture that helps. Imagine a person walking a long road in worn-out shoes. They're cold. They're hungry. They pass restaurants and keep walking because they're convinced they're penniless. At night they worry about where they'll sleep. They've been on this road so long they don't remember starting. And the whole time, they're wearing a coat. And inside the coat, sewn into the lining, is a hidden pocket. And that pocket is stuffed with everything they'd ever need. Money, warmth, a key to a house waiting for them. It's all there. It has always been there. They just never reach in. That's the picture, and I want you to hold on to it. Because it's not really about a coat. Most of us are walking a cold road dressed for a completely different life. We're solving for scarcity while wearing abundance. And the exhaustion we feel isn't from the walk. It's from the belief that the walk is all there is. Sarah has that pocket. You have that pocket. The question isn't whether it's there. The question is why we don't reach in. Here's where it gets interesting, and honestly, a little uncomfortable. We assume that if peace and enoughness were actually available, we'd of course accept them. Who wouldn't? But there's a quieter movement in the mind that most of us have never looked at directly. It's the part of us that decided, a long time ago, that we weren't quite worthy of what's already here. That we hadn't earned it. That taking it would be some kind of cheating, so we keep the pocket sewn shut. Not consciously. We just don't look, we keep our eyes on the road. We keep proving, we keep bracing for loss. Because reaching in would mean admitting the suffering was optional. And that's a harder thing to face than the suffering itself. Think about Sarah, sitting in the car. For a split second, she touches something steady inside her. And what does she do? She goes inside, pours a glass of wine, opens her laptop, and starts prepping for tomorrow's meetings. She doesn't reach in. She reaches for the next task. Because the pocket doesn't fit the story she's telling about her life. We do this constantly. The quiet moment in the shower. The pause between two breaths. The strange calm on a Sunday morning before the mind cranks up. These are pocket moments, and we walk right past them. Because we're too busy being the person who has to earn her way home. So here's the turn. Here's the thing worth stopping for. The gifts weren't withheld. They were refused. Read that again in your own head. The universe isn't stingy. Life isn't withholding. The quiet, the steadiness, the sense of being okay at the core, it's not being kept from you as some cosmic test. It's been offered the whole time, and a part of you, running on autopilot, has been politely declining. That changes the game. Because now the work isn't to become worthy, the work isn't to earn it, prove it, hustle for it, deserve it, fix yourself into it. The work is much smaller and much stranger. The work is to notice you've been refusing. And to stop. That's it. That's the whole thing. And when it lands, really lands, there's a physical release. Like setting down a bag you forgot you were carrying. The bag was heavy. You'd gotten so used to the weight that it felt like your body. And then, for a second, it's just not there. That's what this feels like when it clicks. Now, integration. Because insight is cheap if it doesn't touch Tuesday afternoon. Reaching into the pocket isn't a grand spiritual gesture. It's not a retreat, a mantra, or a 90-minute practice. It's much more ordinary than that. It's the 90 seconds in the car before you walk into the building. It's the breath between hitting send and opening the next email. It's the pause after your kid asks you the same question for the 4th time. In those small moments, you can do something almost embarrassingly simple. You can stop for one honest second and remember, the thing I'm running toward is already here. I don't have to build it. I don't have to deserve it. I just have to stop refusing it. You will forget. That's fine. The pocket doesn't go anywhere. Imagine Sarah, next Tuesday, in the same car, in the same driveway, same manager, same feedback, same drafted and never sent resignation letter. But this time, before she opens the car door, she gives herself 60 seconds. She doesn't fix anything. She doesn't reframe anything. She just stops walking for a moment and reaches in. What she finds isn't a solution to her job. It's something quieter than that. It's her, underneath the terrible Tuesday. Still here. Still okay, not because the day was good, but because the okay was never dependent on the day. Here's what becomes possible when you stop trying to earn your way to okay. You stop performing, not because you've mastered some technique, but because the performance was for an audience that turned out to be imaginary. You stop bracing. You stop scanning every conversation for evidence that you're falling behind. You stop treating your own well-being as a prize you have to win against yourself. And underneath all of that noise, you find that the thing you've been searching for has been sitting quietly in your chest the whole time, waiting for you to notice. The road is still there. The meetings are still there. The Tuesdays are still going to Tuesday, but you're not walking cold anymore. You're just, finally, dressed for the life you're actually living. In a moment, we're going to do something short and simple together. Not to learn anything new, just to reach in, once, on purpose, and feel what's actually there. Before we move into the meditation, if this is helping you, you're welcome to like the video and subscribe. It's a simple way to keep practicing together. Let's take a few minutes together. Find a way to sit that lets your body relax. Shoulders down. Jaw soft. Hands resting wherever they want to rest. You don't have to do anything here. You don't have to become anything. Just be where you already are. Let your breath arrive on its own. Not deeper. Not slower. Just noticed. And as you sit, feel the weight of the day you've been carrying. The meetings. The tasks. The small worries that have been running quietly in the background. You don't have to push any of it away. Just let it be there. For a moment. Without adding to it. Now, gently, remember the coat. The hidden pocket, the thing that has been there the whole time. You don't have to picture it. You don't have to believe it. Just let the idea rest in your mind. Everything you need, already here. Notice if a part of you wants to argue. That's all right. Let it argue in the background. You don't have to answer it. And underneath the arguing, underneath the tiredness, underneath the story about who you are and how hard this has been, see if you can feel something quieter. Something that doesn't need anything from you. Something steady. Unhurried. Already okay. Rest there. Not because you've earned it. Just because it's here. Breathe. If the mind wanders, that's fine. Come back gently. There's no wrong way to do this. Feel your body in the chair. Feel the small rise and fall of your breath. Feel the strange, simple fact that you are here, right now, being kept alive by something you didn't have to arrange. Stay with that for a moment. You are not empty, you never were. When you're ready, let your attention come back to the room. Notice the sounds around you. Notice the light. Notice your hands, and carry a little of this with you. Not as a technique, just as a quiet knowing that the pocket is still there. And you can reach in again whenever you want. Thank you for spending this time in practice. A free digital ACIM resource is linked in the description if you'd like it. And if you wish, you're welcome to comment. I am grateful. Thank you for spending this time here. If today felt like a lot, be gentle with yourself as you step back into the rest of your day. Nothing is required of you right now except to notice you're already carrying more than you thought. Be kind to yourself. I'll see you next time.